So for this section of the video, I very highly suggest you do your research and do it your own risk. So for your 3-stage manifold to work at its full potential, it needs a different tune. We are going to be doing the free option, which is Bimmerlabs 330i conversion. I'm going to show you where to find all the information that you need, and I'm going to show you some tips if you are having some trouble. I'm not going to make another video that reads someone else's instructions on how to do it. I'm just going to lead you into the right direction and give you some extra tips, because there are certain things that I couldn't find, and when I did this the first time there wasn't a ton of information out there, but you can learn from my findings. First off, buy the cable that they recommend. A high quality cable. My DCAN cable, KDCAN, whatever, is a Bimmerlabs cable. It cost about $45 and never had any problems. So just don't buy a cheap eBay one. Just buy the good one. You won't risk destroying your car. So after you bought your cable, you're gonna need a computer, obviously, and you're gonna want to download 2 things. Well, actually 3. From Bimmerlabs, you are gonna need the standard tools and the SP Datens, which is German for something. But what this is all the BMW dealership softwares, and this is all just the different car data packs for different vehicles and all sorts of different module programming. To help you understand a bit, it's not necessarily that you're tuning something different. It's really all this is, all that you're about to do, you're downloading batch files which run different inputs on this software for you to make it a lot easier. So you're not running a new tune, you're just making it so that what I was trying to say here is that Bimmerlabs does not make a tune, they just made a batch file which runs parameters in a BMW dealership software for you, so you don't have to do it. On Bimmerlabs.com, it has a whole help FAQ section. You scroll down and it has an entire help section on how to do this stuff. Read it to a T. Do it everything that they say to a T. I'm not going to read it all, but it's going to show you how to download the standard tools. It's going to tell you how to import the Daten files, and it's going to tell you some advice on how to do this safely and maximize your success rate on how to do this. So as you can see, there's some basic steps, but it shows you pictures on how to do everything. And then this is what the tune is going to look like. Like I said, I'm not going to read all this for you because you should be able to read. I don't need to freaking make another video on how to do that. There's already 10. So what you're going to do is you're going to make an account on Bimmerlabs.com. This is what you're going to see after you make an account. It's going to ask you to make a project. It's going to ask you your VIN and stuff, and it's basically just making sure that you don't mess anything up on accident. For my current car, it's a manual and it's a 2006, so it has an MSV 70 ECU. So once you go into the project, you'll see it ask me some questions about it and whatnot. Once you put in the VIN, it figures out your transmission for you. So to help you understand, you're gonna go into downloads, and you need 2 things. You need the RSA delete, and you need this. You run this one first. It's a batch file, like I said, and then you run this one. This just makes it so that you can reprogram your car's coding, and then this is the one that makes it runs it, the batch file, to put the proper one on. So I have a manual transmission car, so this is the only 2 that I have to do. So let's say hypothetically you have an automatic transmission, and it might be confusing if you don't know this stuff, but you're selecting, these are your different computer modules that are going to be in your car. The MSV80 is your ECU, and the GM, well, at least in my case, I had a GM transmission, all-wheel drive, 2008. So I had the GM transmission, and this is the computer for that. So to select transmission tunes, you have to go and select the transmission, save it. The page will refresh, and now it's showing the downloads for the transmission. So there are 2 stock tunes. Where? Interesting. Oh, okay, here they are. So, like I said, you're gonna download these ones, not these. These, I don't even know what these are, but I've accidentally downloaded these ones and tried running it, and my card did nothing. There was no tune on it, or something like that. But these are your transmission ones. You're also gonna plug it into a battery charger. I don't have that set up right now because I'm not actually doing it. I'm just showing you some tips. So then what I also like to do to be extra safe, the key is in the ignition, in the accessory position. I run the cable. I have my computer on a chair, and I wrap the cable around so it can't slip out. When you're doing this stuff, you don't want to open your doors, touch any windows, touch anything inside the car, the stereo, anything, because you can damage your car. I'm gonna open up INPA to show you that I have a connection with my car. This is what you're gonna want. You use INPA, which is a scanning diagnostic program, but you use this to verify a good connection between your car and your computer. If you don't have a connection, these won't be lit up. These still are gonna be tweaking out like that, but these dots, these 2 black dots, is what you want. And sometimes it doesn't work. Your cable doesn't work immediately, and I had problems getting connection, so I had to do a few different troubleshooting things, and I'm going to show you some things that could go wrong that you can check if your cable isn't working immediately. So the first thing to check, if you can't get a connection between your car and your computer with this cable, is the first thing you're going to check is you're going to open up Device Manager. You're going to open up Device Manager. I'm also going to focus my camera. You're going to open up Device Manager. Takes forever, you know. You're going to go to Ports, and the only one you see is probably, I assume you probably only have one, but you're going to go into COM ports. See that? COM ports. And the one that's in there is probably your cable. It is for me. And if it doesn't work with the BMW stuff, what you're gonna do is you're gonna just try different ones. For me, COM1 is working, but you're gonna just try different ones. You know, press OK and stuff and all that to get it to work. For me, I didn't have this problem, but sometimes it can happen. It's something I tried to get mine to work when I couldn't get it to work, but that's one thing to try. Next thing to do if it doesn't work and you need to troubleshoot is in your C drive, after you installed your BMW tools, there's going to be this Edia Bus. Then it's going to be in bin. Then you're going to scroll down a bit and see and find Edia Bus, all caps, and it's a configuration setting. Open that up, and then in here, this is actual coding. So I believe, just make sure everything is written like this. One of these might not be like this, but for it to work, you need this to be remote, and you need the interface to be STD, 2 dots, whatever the fuck that's called, and then OBD. Make sure when you do this that there's no spaces between the equal sign, because that was a problem I had. You have to, everything in code, everything has to be a certain way for it to for everything to work properly. So, you know, make sure that this setting is all like this, and if it's not, change it, type it in, and then save it, and then try it again. Hopefully then you should have connection with your cable. Another thing to try, if you still can't get it, I'm on Windows 10. Sometimes you might need to run these things in compatibility mode. You go into properties of these programs, compatibility, and then you can run it in compatibility mode for Windows 7, you know, all this stuff. If you are going to do it, try Windows 7, maybe Vista or something. I don't think you normally have to do this stuff, but you know, if you're still having problems, these are old programs, but I'm on Windows 10 and I didn't have to do that stuff, but that's something to try. At this point, you should have a connection with your cable, and then you can run these batch files and have your car programmed the way you want it to, and everything should be good. So here I downloaded them and I put them in the same spot. So I got my RSA delete. When you're ready and you have everything set up, you will just run your Windows batch file. The first one is under RSA delete, and it's the MSV70. That's me, at least. There's some information in here. Just make sure you do everything to what they say and you'll be totally fine. And then once you do the RSA delete, same thing, go back to where you have your tune deleted, 325 to 330. That's me. MSV70, same thing, that's a batch file. It will run everything in WinKFP for you. WinKFP is the program that's going to be flashing, tuning your car and switching the coding. But input is just the diagnostic ones that we will be utilizing to make sure we have a good connection between the car and the computer. Like I said, this isn't a direct tutorial because there's information on their websites on how to do this. And I'm not just gonna read the instructions for you. I'm just trying to give you some extra tips on how to get this to actually work and how to understand what's actually going on. So, good luck to you. Be very careful when you do this stuff. I didn't tell you to do it. I'm just giving you advice. So, good luck with your N52.